What's up, Fish Tube? Bearded Bob once again, doing a little update video on this 40-gallon breeder that I've got my Bristlenose Plecos in. These guys have been breeding non-stop, it seems like, for the last bunch of years, and right now I've probably got 40 to 60 or so of these guys in here. Most of them are pretty small, as you can see. I don't want to scare them. They're really skittish lately. Back here in the cave is one of the big males, probably in there with some eggs right now. He's very reluctant to come out. That's usually how it works. He likes to stay in his tank. Good luck getting him out of there. One of the interesting facts here is about 90% of the guys that come out of here are just regular black bristlenose, and about 10% end up being albinos. So I've been pulling the albinos out, putting them into a separate tank, hoping to get just a colony of just albinos. As you can see, there's another one back there. I don't know if you can see my finger. Oh, I scared them all. Yeah, way to go. See, like I said, pretty skittish. They'll come back out. Also in this tank we've got, there's 3 neon tetras. These guys are about 2 years old. They've been just kind of living in this tank for the last couple of years, or about a year or so. There's also a couple of cory cats, a bronze cory and a salt and pepper cory. Again, they're just kind of living their best life in here. There's the bronze cory right there. I don't know if you can see him. Right there. So he's just chilling. There is, like I said, there's probably 50 or 40 or 60 of these guys. Maybe you can pause the video and help me just count to this little bit that you can see right here, but there's a ton. That's not including whatever's in the cave right now in egg form or in newly hatched. I haven't been able to check yet to see what I got. So in this tank, besides all the fish and stuff, there's a couple of Amano shrimp. There's 2 of them in here that they've been here for, probably about the same amount of time, couple of years. Here's that pepper cory right there, right next to the bronze cory. Eventually I'd like to have a tank set up where I can have a colony of each of those guys in separate tanks. But for right now, it just makes more sense just to have them in here. There's they were an extra fish that were included on some stuff that I bought a long time ago. So, like I said, in this tank there's also just a ton of driftwood, like this big chunk right there. There's that one. Oop, I scared all the fish. There's another chunk of driftwood there. There's another one there. They like to gnaw on it. They like to hide in it and under it and stuff. There's some plants now. Up until about a week ago, this whole tank was just filled with water wisteria and hygrophila green, and it was so thick in here you couldn't see more than a couple inches into the front of the tank. So I've ripped all that stuff out. I transferred some that was still good. Most of it was leggy and shaded itself on the bottom, so it was not salvageable really. So I left a couple of pieces of water wisteria in here. I got this one piece in the back that seems to be growing up and out of the tank already, and then I've got this one piece that was like an offshoot that grew outside of the tank. So this is immersed grown. Those leaves will die back here, and then it'll grow some roots, and I'll replant it. This is submerged grown with an immersed grown top. Also have some crypts that I just kind of moved over here too. They're a little bit leggy, but they'll start bushing out pretty good, I think. This plant right here is a rotella Hydra, and so is this one here and this one right here. So those are the rotella Hydra. This is supposed to be almost like a purple plant, but because the lighting that I have on here isn't the best, I just have the one Beamswork 36-inch long one, and it puts off a good amount of light. Most of my plants in my fish room grow really nice. They just don't get as deep of a color. The reds, I would bet if I put 2 of those on here, it would do it, but I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, so this one is kind of getting to the point where I'm going to start trimming it to pieces and cutting it between the roots and replanting it. As you can see, there's some roots hanging down. Let's see, what else do we got in here? Some Bacopa caroliniana. There's a bunch of it right there. So I got one piece of this AR cardinalis, Alternanthia Renickii cardinalis. And then there's just some other little crypts that are popping up in here. There's two little pieces of subwassertang there. They're just chunks that I pulled out of other tanks that were kind of overrun with hair algae. I kind of stuck some pieces in here that weren't as bad. Open. These guys got scared of something. Ooh, they're scaring themselves. Let's see. What else can I talk about in this tank? There's a huge population of snails, and about once every couple weeks, I literally go in there and pull handfuls of these snails out. You can see they take over a tank pretty quickly. They were kind of chewing on all the plants and stuff. I don't know if that meant the plants were dying, or if they were just that starving for food, but they were eating some of the plants that were in here. As you can see, there's some shading and whatever, you know, of the plants that were in here. These crypts were in here, I think. So maybe they were dying back and they were kind of chewing on them or whatever. But yeah, trying to pull them out because eventually they'll overrun the area that I put the food, and then these plecos won't be able to get to the food because it'll just be a big snail ball. So I'll pull it out of there. There is a block of, I dropped in one block of frozen bloodworms down here. These guys will get eaten once these, what the heck's, there's a bronze cory. Bronze and the salt and pepper cory will go over there and start nibbling on that stuff, sucking them up like spaghetti pretty soon. But usually they don't like to come out too often, and they like to hide, just like all the other fish in here too. Let's see, what else do I got to say? There is one large male and one large female in here. You can see the male's kind of guarding a batch of eggs. I'm almost positive, I haven't checked, but it's about every 2 weeks that we get another batch of eggs. So as you can tell, I mean, there's a lot of plecos. Every other tank in this fish room has at least one pleco in it from this tank, just from the babies. And there's 20 some odd tanks in here right now. So I mean, it's it's a lot of plecos. The other thing that I've done is I've gone through here and tried to scoop every ounce of duckweed that was in this tank. As you can see, there's still a couple pieces floating around, and if I don't get those out, it will repopulate very quickly. Let me show you what repopulated duckweed looks like. This is after one day I scooped most of it out of this tank, and there's so much of it in some spots that it just kind of, it piles up, and there's no water movement on the top there. It's not really good. It shades out the plants. As you can see down here, these ones are doing okay, but some of this moss and stuff is not. So I need to get the rest of that duckweed out of here. This isn't the tank we're focusing on right now. We're looking at this guy. But like I said, trying to go around the room right now and scoop out every ounce of duckweed that I can get my hands on without scooping all the fish. Makes it really difficult in tanks that have lots of guppies and shrimp, because they like to go up to the top every time I try to scoop. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's something you just got to do. You just got to go with it and try not to catch any fish, and try not to catch any shrimp, and just keep going. It's taken a very long time to do it, but I'm in the mindset right now that I want it eradicated from my fish room so I don't have to worry about it ever again. So that's what it is. Filtering this tank, we've got just a Penguin BioWheel 200. It's one of these here. This one's a new one that I'm going to put on a 55-gallon tank to swap out for a different filter that's on there right now. Inside there we just got the regular sponge filter. I got some ceramic rings in a bag, and then one of these, build your own cartridge kind of thing, and I've just got pinky floss that I stick in there. There's a whole new thing of pinky floss. That's what it's called. Aquaflow pond and aquarium, whatever, 1 inch thick, pink white. So it's coarse on the back and really fine stuff on the front. This tank also gets like about half of its water changed every week. It's on my RO system there. You can see the valve and whatever. It's all connected up to my RO system. I think that's about all I wanted to touch base on. I'll just kind of leave you with some with a view of some of the fish. Looks like they all kind of evaporated from the front because they got scared. But again, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video if you want to on Facebook, and we'll be doing some more tanks later.